Happy Hour from Uptown New Orleans, and I am April Stolf filling in for Grant Morris today. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network itsneworleans.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you. What you do know is no matter what they look like, what they're wearing, whether they just got out of a limo or out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you, because that's New Orleans, and this is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation with folks who have nothing in common other than we're all New Orleanians in a bar. Today we're at Wayfair on Frenchmen Street. Wayfair is a restaurant and bar serving handcrafted food and spirits with a whole new menu and a radically new happy hour. 3 happy hours, happy every day, from 3 to 6. Everything is half price, drinks and appetizers. Wayfair on Frenchmen Street. And here we go. We have our special guest here. We have Dane Ciolino.
How are you? Good. You
Good.
pronounced that correctly. Good.
Great. Welcome here to Happy
Thanks
Hour.
for having me.
Yeah,
It looks like I'm the only one with a drink, though.
You have a drink. Well, you know, this is Taylor Richardson, and she has, put away her first drink, but that's really good.
It was really good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, Taylor. And then we have Alex Mallet.
Yes.
Alexander Mallet. He'll be our musical guest this afternoon. So thank you guys all for joining us today. And Dane, so you are here a legal analyst here in New Orleans. How long have you been here?
I am. Well, how long have I been in New Orleans?
No,
My
I know
whole
you've
life.
been here your whole life.
Yeah, I wish I've been somewhere else for a little while, but I haven't.
So if there was somewhere else that you could be, where would you be going?
Well, I lived in New York for a while. That was good fun, but that's just a little too busy. But no, New Orleans. I love New Orleans, and if you are going to be a legal analyst and you're going to do legal ethics and criminal law, where else would you rather be?
Right, I know.
We've got lots of criminal law and ethics issues here, so it's good fun for me.
Yeah, it is really good fun. Are you guys getting in? Do you guys need any criminal cases for yourselves, Taylor?
Not today, no.
Ask me later tonight.
Alex.
Right.
So let's see. So also, you have 3 children,
I do.
and so how old are your children?
Well, not old enough to not ask for money all the time,
Oh, that
so
sounds like-
they are all quite young when it comes to money.
Are you still asking for money from your parents too, Taylor?
Oh, goodness, no.
How old are you, Taylor?
I'm almost 33.
Oh, she looks like she's about 18, doesn't she?
I know.
I get that all the time, yeah.
Hey, Andrew, welcome to the table.
Hey everybody, sorry I'm late. What did I miss?
This is Andrew. We just did our introduction.
Beautiful.
Yes, Andrew's our co-host for the show today.
Let's do it all again. I don't know who anybody is. I'm just
Okay.
kidding. I'll just figure it out as we go, you know?
I know, this is great. This is Alex. Alex is going to be playing for us today.
Great. Where are you from, Alex?
Originally from South Florida.
Beautiful. Did you say that already?
No.
Good. We're off to a start. We're making progress. That's
Well,
good.
what is Alex going to play? Because he doesn't seem to have any instruments. Ah, there's the guitar.
I
over
hide
there.
my instruments.
The invisible voice. And then we have over here, we have Taylor Richardson. Taylor, you are a marketing manager and SEO guru at Turbo Squid.
Yes.
Tell us what you were doing at Turbo Squid.
Well, so Turbo Squid is, first and foremost, it's an online marketplace for 3D models. So anybody who's in the film industry or the gaming industry or architecture gets their 3D models from us. I handle a lot of the marketing communications, and I am mainly responsible for making sure that we're as crawlable and findable and rankable by Google as possible.
Can you do that for everybody here at the table?
Potentially, yes.
For a price.
For a price.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys use 3D printers by any chance?
We have dabbled in that, but that is not a primary target for us.
Well, you've already out-jargoned me. What is a 3D model anyway? What are you talking about?
So a 3D model. So if you've seen, we're in a lot of movies. So a lot of especially sci-fi movies will use 3D models of objects instead of building them out in an actual studio. It's a lot cheaper. It saves a lot of time. So where a lot of films would have a 3D modeler on staff, instead of doing all of that and wasting all of the hours and hours and hours while they build it, they can come to Turbo Squid and buy it already built, and then they can customize it themselves. Same with the gaming industry. So everything in a game is really built virtually. So we basically sell them the files that they use in those projects.
So like a flower pot or a dish or something like that is what you're talking about?
Absolutely. Everything from that to spaceships to castles to dragons, all of those kinds
What
of
about
things.
guitars?
And guitars. We have a massive array of guitars.
What percentage of the models would you say are meant to be blown up and or burnt or destroyed?
Oh, we have a vast array of wrecked and or ruined 3D models.
Awesome. Yeah.
What about
Buildings,
guitars?
vehicles, and guitars.
Sorry.
And we rank #1 on Google, so if you Google any of those keywords, you will see us as #1.
And that's your doing, because you don't do any
Well-
of the 3D modeling, you do the Googling.
To be
aspect.
fair, they've been doing an amazing job long before I got there, but I've come on and I'm definitely supporting the cause and helping us get to 100%
Well,
awesomeness.
and that's, this company's based in New Orleans?
Yes, we
And there's
are.
all this bad press recently that millennials and tech companies don't want to be here anymore. Did you hear that recently? It's annoying.
I have heard that. But I think you guys are growing, aren't you?
I think I don't actually. I can't speak to the company and whether it's growing, but I do know that there's more tech companies moving to New Orleans. Like we got In Exile in the past year or so, and I think Game Loft is also here. So I think the industry is growing, and I think UNO just recently started offering the degree program for it. So we're definitely trying to keep our tech-minded people here at home. Instead of having them go off to other, markets
right.
like San Francisco and Seattle.
And how many people are doing this modeling and whatnot in New Orleans?
Gosh, in New Orleans, I think they all work at Turbo Squid. But internationally, it's actually a very, very, very big artist base that we have. A lot of our main modelers come from Eastern Europe, actually. There's some very, very, very talented folks out there.
What are some of these movies that you were on that you can just come off the top of your head?
Oh my gosh, and I hope they forgive me if I don't know if we're allowed to. I think we're allowed to say all of them. And I know Guardians of the Galaxy is a recent one.
Because it's
that
out
we've been-
already. Yeah,
Right, it's out
yeah,
already. They
yeah.
did credit us. We get credits on Jeopardy all the time because they use our 3D models for like NASA questions, for instance. I think we were also in Deadpool recently. So
Yeah, a little
we're
known
really
fact about me
everywhere.
is I'm kind of in the movie industry. They actually filmed a Will Ferrell movie at my house last year, 2 years ago. Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. The movie was quite bad, I will say. It was called Daddy's Home. But the big part of the movie is Will Ferrell gets on top of a motorcycle and drives it right through my front door. And they did that all with, no, not 3D modeling, but with all the, what's the buzz term?
CGI.
CGI, that's it, with the
CGI.
CGI. So no doors were broken or skid marks left in my living room, but it
That's
looked
so
like
good.
that.
And they put the house back together the way that it was.
They did. It was terrific.
before.
It was good fun.
That's really good. Are you in the movie industry too, Alex?
No, I'm not.
No?
No.
But where are you playing? Where have you been playing recently?
Mainly on Frenchmen, and then a few other places. Maple Leaf is coming up. Playing Siberia, Ace Hotel, and then I'm also stretching out and doing some festivals. Traveling.
What's the band called?
My band is called Chops, TCHOUPS, and then I play with a few other bands.
Sweet.
But
Is it
you have
time
no
to-
band with you today.
No, I wish. I'm all by myself.
Is it time to hear a tune? Is it too early? Could we do it?
Let's hear a tune. You ready?
Yes, we could, yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
let's do it.
All right.
You play as well?
Yeah, I play as well, yep.
You have a guitar with you?
I don't. No. I was caught in traffic and got here as quick as I could. I only brought the beer. I didn't actually bring the beer. I got it
Brought the
from the bar. You know what I
important
mean.
I gotta pick somewhere in here. There it is.
What's this one called?
This is called The Road.
Cool.
So my whole musical career so far has been mainly playing other people's music.
Sure.
Playing covers, what people want to hear in bars.
Yeah.
And as soon as I moved here, I focused on my own music, which is really refreshing. And here's one of the songs. Mainly what I've been writing has been instrumental, but this is a lyrical song.
Cool.
Called The Road. And mind you, I usually have 3 other guys playing with me, everybody harmonizing.
Beautiful.
So, let's see what I can do. That's a part of the song. That's how it starts.
All part of the show, folks.
come too far to let it go. I tried too hard to let it show. I've never driven down that road. That road will take me there. That road will take me there. That road will take me there. Take me to my home. Spend your days inside your head, and how you seem to find yourself misled. Why can't you get your step instead? That road will take you there. That road will take you there. That road will take you there. Take you to your home. Choose this path that we create, and those who sit aside have found their fate. That road will take us there. That road will take us there. That road will take us there. Take us to our home. That road will take us there. That road will take us there. That road will take us there. Take us to our home. Take us to our home.
Nice, dude.
Very, very nice.
Thank you.
Killer stuff. You so you said you're playing a lot on Frenchmen Street. Is it are you kind of like doing the how many nights a week are you playing on Frenchmen Street?
Pretty much Monday is my only night off.
Monday, yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's not
right.
always
Totally, the
Frenchmen.
Frenchmen Street hustle, yeah.
Yeah.
That's killer.
The bands I'm playing with there, mainly Jamie St. Pierre.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And the Honey Creepers.
Yep.
And Revival.
Okay, yeah.
And Dana Abbott.
Uh-huh. I know Dana. Great
And,
pipes.
Yeah, I'm playing with Sam Price and the True Believers.
That's cool, man. So you play guitar for these bands?
Yes.
That's killer, man. Awesome stuff.
Yeah, I'm loving it here.
Are you playing tonight?
Tonight I'm playing at Cafe Instable, which I've never been to. That's with Sam Price and True Believers, and that's for a Harvey benefit.
Oh, cool.
Very cool. And what
Istanbul's a nice spot.
time- Yeah, it is. What time are you playing?
We go on at 6:40.
6:40 tonight?
Early one.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is New
Yeah.
Orleans, so it's probably going to be like 7:30.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to get there and hang out for a good hour before you don't want to. You got to get there and meet everybody and have 2 drinks and then start up. That's about the New Orleans style, New Orleans 7 o'clock would be what's that, about 8:45, something like that. In fact, I feel like the later it gets, the longer the lag. If you're going to see the brass band at 10 o'clock, it'll start at 11:30.
The last time I was at Cafe Istanbul was for a Moth storytelling.
Yeah.
Have you ever been there for that?
I have, yeah, I love that.
I mean, that is
Love that deal.
absolutely outstanding. With
Truly.
I wish they would do that more often in New
I agree.
Orleans.
Are you familiar with the Bring Your Own event?
No, what is that?
Similar deal. I think their only difference is they're doing it at different locations each time, and they're also screening the stories. So they're kind of, I suppose already getting their all-star cast together of stories. So similar, and I guess the only thing you're losing is, you'll get some duds, but
there's
God
always
love 'em.
duds,
Yeah.
right? But I made my trial advocacy class go. So
That's cool.
me and my whole class, 15 students or so, we all went to Cafe Istanbul.
Yeah.
And I was hoping one of them was going to get. Everybody puts their name into the hat, and then they reach in and they pull out the storytellers for the night.
Right.
And none of my students got picked, nor did I. But it was just outstanding, the stories.
Yeah, I think it's on my bucket list to do one. It's not.
Do you have a good story to drop
should
in
See,
there?
that's the
Definitely
thing.
do
I
that.
don't know. Well, as you know, each one has a theme. So each one of these moths has a theme going in, and everybody knows what the theme going in is. So let's say it's something like, I remember one was fathers.
Lost love,
yeah,
or
okay,
a-
sure.
something like that,
Lost love.
right.
So people are thinking in their head, oh, do I have an interesting story about a lost love? And let's say 70% of the people going aren't interested in telling a story. They just want
Right.
to listen.
Or they went
Is
there
it
wanting
like-
to tell a story about their spilled milk or something.
Yeah. Or
And that wasn't the night for that.
That's
Is it
right.
comedy or also?
Well, no, some of the stories are quite sad. Some
Yeah.
of them are hilarious.
Yeah, some
but
of it's super heavy.
but the
sometimes, yeah.
whole
Taylor's a
range.
comedian.
I have been.
Is
Taylor's
that
a
right?
stand-up comedian.
No, no,
She
no, no, no.
actually
Well.
participated in Hell Yes Fest.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
What is that? I've never even heard of that.
Well, Hell Yes Fest is put on by the New Movement Theater here in New Orleans every year in October, I believe. Not to correct you, but only because stand-up is absolutely terrifying. I do not do stand-up, but I do sketch comedy. I've done improv in the past. They're kind of different schools, like once you kind of get down into the nitty-gritty of it. But I was part of a show called the Disposable Income Freak Show out of the New Movement Theater in Austin, actually. They have a sister location over there. And we ran the show for a couple of years. Our final show was at Hell Yes Fest this past year, about, I guess, coming up on a year ago. And it was basically a variety show and like a sketch sort of a thing with, we tried to stereotype everybody of like the common of like our modern times. So we had Basic Bitch, which was me. We had the Human Sunday Fun Day. We had the Grad School Martyr. We had a bunch of fun characters like that kind of spilled their hearts onto the stage in a comedic way.
Nice.
So all about like heightening the absurdity of our situations. But
and
also
you all
trying
had to improv all that, or you went there knowing that you were going to be the...
It was kind of a mix, right? So we had a script that kept evolving because it was broken down into sketches, just kind of like Saturday Night Live, but we could mix and match and put them in different orders. And when we did that and kind of played around with the different combinations of characters and flip-flopped characters in certain scenes, it created different story arcs every single time that we did that. So the show was different every single time that we performed it. It was really great for being the homegrown production that it was. And so the script of each sketch was kind of the same, but then once you got comfortable with your castmates, then you could improvise and kind of find those special moments in the live performance. So that was the magic.
Now, I'm a law professor, which means I would have nothing to do with improv, but in the same class where I make them go to the storytelling, we do improv, and I've seen nothing gets lawyers better at just public speaking
Right.
than just making them do
Yes.
improv.
Isn't court improv?
Well, it is. It is. But the thing about the improv is they stop worrying about the way they look, and they
You
just
get out
have
of
to.
your comfort zone
You've got
completely.
to. I mean, like if you're going to be Santa Claus, you've got to be Santa Claus. You
Yeah.
can't be a half-ass Santa Claus
Right.
because it looks worse. So. That's the terrific thing for lawyers to do, and I guess comics too.
Absolutely. I preach the improv gospel to all of my coworkers, everybody that I've ever worked with, because it helps you really embrace the unknown and get comfortable with it, which is a muscle, I think, in your brain that you need to exercise and keep warmed up. Because the more in your comfort zone you stay, the more you kind of rely on that safety blanket, and then the magic happens when you are outside of your comfort zone. So
True that.
good.
Did you start
So
by
true.
taking an improv class?
Yeah, actually, the New Movement Theater, which is here in New Orleans and in Austin, they do offer a 5-level improv course. They also offer sketch writing, and I think they've started doing some stand-up workshops, but don't quote me on that. But Anybody can take the classes. You can either work for your tuition or you can pay up front a couple $100 per level. But I absolutely think that is one of the most valuable things that's added to my professional skill set.
Nice.
For sure. So recommend. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think everybody should be doing some kind of stand-up or improv to get out of their comfort zone. You know, even if it was like to do that or go to like Toastmasters or anything like that to do public speaking, it's so valuable in every way.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about this? Because you're already in the scene with doing your music and you have your voice on a whole nother level than just speaking.
Yeah, one thing that relates to this is when I'm not playing music on stage, sometimes I struggle with what to say to the audience and connect with them in that way. So I think something like that would definitely benefit.
Banter, yeah.
And yeah, that banter. And a lot of people I've seen out here playing are just really good with that, and they know how to work the crowd, and they're basically comedians on stage. Like the things they come up with just blows my mind and cracks me up. I can't keep a straight face, especially like Revival, those guys. Oof.
Well, I mean, I've read all kinds of books on improv to get ready for my class on improv, and there's only really one principle, which is yes and.
Mm-hmm.
And for you work as a radio host. If somebody brings up a topic, you're supposed to say, well, yes, and let's talk about that. You're not supposed to say, no, we're not going to talk about that.
Exactly.
We're going to talk about something else. So, I mean, it's really, so many things in life you could just get much better at by saying yes and.
Absolutely. It makes you a better person
better
because
person.
it makes you a good teammate. If everybody that you ever do improv with is 100% confident that you have their back, they're going to try some really, really funny stuff
No,
on
I don't
stage.
agree with any of that. That's what I can do. No. You see how you see?
It just killed it.
Look, it
Absolutely.
just shut down
We're
that
done.
whole conversation.
I was totally brewing a thought, though. Yeah, but I think it's extremely valuable for creativity, especially for those who aren't. I don't know. I guess when I think about being creative, it's like my little. You know, when you watch the Mickey Mouse music video or something, and the lyrics are going under the screen, and the Mickey head is on each word, right?
Right. Yeah.
I feel like my Mickey head is behind each word because I'm paying attention to whether or not there was something interesting that just happened that I should store for like lyric writing, or was there a pun to be had there or something? I like to be funny. But it's like improv, it's like your Mickey Mouse head is moving forward, and in a way that it's not considering any of your ideas sacred. It's almost like yes and is a tool to not try to steer it a certain way with your own ideas. Let your ideas be forward moving and destroy anything that it does. If it doesn't go that way, you go this way, forward and kind of, I don't know. Maybe I need to take a class to figure it out. But,
No, you're absolutely onto something. I think it's letting go of your ideas as sacred and letting them contribute to and blend with other people's ideas and being willing to follow that wherever it goes.
Do you have to, because you're working with the same people and over again, do you have people that you're like, oh yeah, we're better at this together than other dynamics, so to speak, or is it just kind of, I don't know?
Definitely. I think it's easier to play with people that you are used to improvising with, and they do call it playing because it is like all about that headspace that you're kind of in.
Yeah.
I think that, when you get comfortable with somebody, you learn how to set each other up. You know what certain topics that, how, for instance, Dale might feel about certain legal issues. Once I know that about him, I can start to tee him up for the perfect kickoff or the perfect joke to kind of send it all home.
Nice.
So it does make it more challenging to play with people that you've never done a scene with.
Yeah.
But I think that's where the training comes in handy, is because it teaches you how to get into that headspace where you're completely open to all of those ideas and you're ready to support whatever they come up with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I'll see you at the improv class one of these days.
All right, we'll see you there.
Or we can see her at a Renaissance fair.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
So you're also an archer. Is that
What?
Is that right?
Yes.
And wait, and it's your bow is a
Mongolian
Mongolian horse
bow.
bow.
Yes.
So I was looking that up to know what a Mongolian horse bow is, and those things can be like 10 what is it, 20 to 110 pounds. Do you
For the draw
pick
weight.
up 110 pounds of this?
No. So what
You
they're
didn't
referring.
Google that weight, no.
I'm
She's talking
looking
about
at
the
these.
draw weight. Is
Yeah,
that
the
correct?
draw. Yes. So when you
Like,
actually
it doesn't tell you that really
It
when
does
you're
not,
looking
no.
at pictures.
They assume that you are already an archer. No, so what that's referring to is the draw weight. So when you actually pull the string back and you're in your full anchored stance, how much weight are you actually pulling with this arm? It has to do with like the tension between the actual like wood of the bow and the thickness of the string, the tautness of the string. All of those factors come into play, and I don't know the math behind it per se, but I am definitely not that strong.
How long have you been doing this?
Oh gosh, I think probably 3 or 4 years now. And I picked up archery when I discovered the Renaissance Fair because they have throwing axe ranges and
Those are so
archery
fun.
ranges and all kinds of things.
Have you been to the Renaissance Fair or festival?
I have friends that
Have
have.
you?
I haven't been. I just
The
keep hearing.
Renaissance
Oh,
Festival?
where and when
Oh,
is
they
it?
are fantastic.
Everybody's
the-
dressed in old clothes and whatnot.
Well, the fun people are. There's a Renaissance Fair here in Hammond, Louisiana that happens, I think, in November, December every year. You can go in normal clothes or you can dress up and go to town, be a pirate, be a knight, be a Viking, be a ninja. You can even be a stormtrooper if you need to. It's
Santa
kind of
Claus.
crossed over. Santa Claus.
Claus, right.
Medieval Santa Claus would be interesting.
Definitely. That would be
Renaissance Santa
interesting.
They
Claus.
didn't have
Yeah.
Renaissance ninjas.
Well, it's kind of bled into
have
the
to call bullshit
cosplay
on that.
world at this point.
Where did that come
like
from?
changed. Now it's like a Comic-Con.
Yeah,
kind
the
of.
worlds kind of blend
I
and
see,
overlap
yeah,
a bit.
yeah.
Right, so there is no theme.
Well, there is. You get into the subcultures at that point where you've got the hardcore Rennies that have made their armor by hand.
Purists, yeah.
Or they've spent insane amounts of money on it. And then you've got the Comic-Con people or the cosplay people who have kind of like discovered Ren Fair recently and they want to bring their nerd culture over there. And I mean,
Cosplay is costume play?
yes,
Ah.
yes. So
Yeah.
what people
Are you
who
hearing?
like.
Yeah.
Ren-
Ren,
lingo,
Ren,
you
Ren
know?
Fair, did you say? Ren
Yes,
Fair? Okay.
Renaissance Fair.
That's what the
Taylor-
hipsters
The
do.
Ren
dress up,
Fair?
The Ren
Oh
Fair.
yes.
It's the
Taylor,
big
is
one.
there an outfit that goes along with the Mongolian horse bow?
I never wear the same outfit twice to fair.
Ah.
If that answers your question.
To fair. You guys going to fair? I like there's so
Twice
many
a
little
year.
abbreviations that the hip
know,
folks know.
You're all welcome to join us. We camp for the entire weekend, so we don't go completely rustic. We call it glamping. I bring like my
Glamping.
down comforter and my feather pillows,
that.
and I set up
Glamping.
a gypsy tent, and everything is beautiful and lovely. And you wear chainmail and leather armor,
Sick.
and
What's
I
your draw
definitely
weight?
have chainmail.
I'm at 25 pounds.
25 pounds, all right.
Short
Okay.
range, yes.
I know a little bit about bows because a good buddy of mine, we were out in the woods at his little camping lodge or, somewhere in Mississippi. And we weren't even camping. We were playing music, actually. But he brought his recurve bow. You familiar with these
Oh,
Fred Bear
absolutely.
recurve bows
Yes,
by
very
any chance?
similar, yeah.
Oh, man. It was so fun. And I'm left-handed, so I went online and, found my own recurve left-handed bow.
Fabulous.
I currently own a recurve bow. I have
What is the recurve bow?
Yeah, it's
Because you-
just, I suppose the recurve, I'm guessing by assumption here, rather than being kind of a C shape, it's got curves on each of the limbs, right? So
Got
it's
it.
just
It's
a
like
little.
the curly brackets.
That's right,
Absolutely.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's a
And what does that
beautiful
do
bow.
for
Yours
you?
kind of looked like that, though, when I looked it up.
They're very,
Yours
very
looked-
similar.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what does the recurve do? I imagine it's about the tension and
I can tell you what the Wikipedia says for a recurve bow.
tell me about it.
Okay, tell us.
Well, a recurve bow stores more energy and delivers energy more efficiently than the equivalent straight-limbed bow.
And there it is.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would guess it means that when you're drawing, you wouldn't have to draw as far to get that 25 pounds on a recurve bow than you would on just a C-shaped bow. I
Right.
would
I've
guess.
never actually shot a C-shaped bow. I started on a recurve and then I went to the Mongolian horse. They're almost identical. The details are in like whether or not you have the amenities like a shelf for your arrow to rest on. So I shoot off of my hand
Oh,
actually.
badass.
So it like kind of slices you on the way
Yeah,
a
right.
little
Do you
bit.
have any protection on your hand or no?
Not on this hand. I do on this hand.
Damn. So
The-
what? You just kind of
If you get sliced up a little bit, that's just kind of part of it.
badass. So do you actually shoot the horse bow off of a horse?
That is traditionally how it was shot. Yes.
But you're not doing that at the
I
Ren
do
Fair.
not own a horse currently. No.
And the
Never
Ren
shot.
Fair would not supply the horse.
Oh, I can't imagine the insurance liability
Yeah, right.
issues,
Okay.
right? I think Dale could speak to that.
Sign something, Sign a waiver. It'd be cool.
So yeah, you're all welcome to join us for fair. Third weekend of November. We'll be camping all weekend and wearing chainmail.
Can I bring my recurve?
Yeah, absolutely you can.
I'll wear my chainmail.
Can I bring my horse?
Absolutely you can.
And your guitar.
Oh, definitely. And we drink mead. I don't know if that's a thing.
Great.
What is
Never had
mead?
it.
What is that? Is
What
that
is
like
mead?
beer or is it an ale? What is
It's
it?
everything in between. So the mead is kind of on a spectrum. It can be a beer. It can be more beer-like. I have friends actually at Turbo Squid that brew their own tej, is what it's called. And depending on the ratio of honey to water that you initially put into it and how long you let it age, it can also become more like a wine. And that is actually what I brew and what I prefer myself. And you can add a lot of fruit into it, so it can be semi-sweet to sweet, but it is honey-based and completely fermented, so I've never had a hangover from it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you were just drinking an old-fashioned kind of cocktail here that was nothing to do with honey and mead.
No,
What was
it had
that?
honey
It's all
syrup
gone.
in it. It was a Manhattan. No, I haven't found a bar that serves mead here yet, but that is kind of a secret dream of mine, is to kind of peddle some of my homebrewed mead one day
Yeah.
to some of the bars here for some of those adventurous drinkers.
But it's funny, you're not the first or second person that I've heard recently mention that they either are or know someone who is making mead. Why is this becoming a phenomenon that kids are making mead now?
Game of Thrones.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Definitely.
Is that what they drink on Game of Thrones? No, they're drinking wine all the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah. But I think
There are some
just
mead
the
halls.
medieval...
There's a mead hall every now and again.
Right. Medieval culture, I think, in general, has kind of made a huge comeback. Game of Thrones spearheaded it, and then you've got the Viking show, you've got all these others. So Renaissance fairs have gotten really, really popular in the last 5 years or so. So I think that's kind of part of the revival of it. But it's delicious stuff. You should give it a try
I
sometime.
like that we're coming full circle, too. We started with the friars making, or whoever was making mead, and then we got to like these high gravity, small batch beers, and now we're all the way back to the beginning where the hipster kids are saying, I don't want to pay for a $6 can of beer. I'm going to mix some honey and water together and wait a while.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
You
go
only-
glamping.
Exactly. It's so much cheaper to spend a weekend at fair than it is to just live at home
Yeah.
and
Well, like
feed
you
yourself.
said, there's something to the simpler recipe, which I'm sure this mead recipe is.
Wait,
that-
what is it? It's honey and water and sugar, and you have to put some yeast or something
You
in
don't actually have to add any sugar. The honey has
Oh,
all
of
of the
course,
sweetness.
of course.
So it's honey
But-
and water in different ratios. You add the yeast. That's a basic tej right there. Or I think there's some herbs that go into it for a traditional tej recipe. But the basic mead is those three ingredients, and then you get fancy when you add different fruits to it. Like I've done a raspberry. I've done, or friends of mine have done like cinnamon and vanilla and
Nice.
peach and pear. You can go crazy with it. It's so fun.
I hope this Christmas a friend gives me, because you get some, I like to pickle pickles or pickle things for Christmas gifts. I hope a friend gives me some mead this year. That's what I hope. I hope somebody's out there brewing some mead as Christmas gifts.
Your chances are much higher if you come to fair in
Oh,
November.
right. I didn't make some friends at the Ren Fair.
Yeah.
See, my friends and I bought a still once, and we decided we were going to be distillers in our backyards. And then
Right.
somebody got on the Wikipedia, just like earlier, and we realized that we all might go to jail.
Oh, that's
So,
right.
so we sold our still.
What an amazing
Yeah.
thing that you're not allowed.
It's a little, isn't that ridiculous?
And you're
kind of
I mean, why
insane.
can you
You're a
make the
lawyer.
mead and wine and beer at home, but you cannot?
Can't do
You
that.
can't distill liquor. They do it on MASH.
Amazing.
I mean, what I'm doing might be illegal. I didn't actually look it up first.
Right.
Well,
Well,
at least you have an attorney that can represent you and that's sitting here at the
the
table.
one who didn't had to look at the Wikipedia to realize that it was a crime to have a
Now you
have
can
a
find
still.
out more.
Amazing. Yeah, it's I guess it's just the alcohol content, right? You get above a certain level, and then you are not allowed. That is wild.
Yeah.
I'll just drink a lot more mead. What do you say to that, coppers? You
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
I don't know. That's wild, and it's disappointing too, because that sounds amazing to make your own white lightning and then turn it into whiskey or something.
Well, for the mead, it sounds like you don't need any kind of fancy equipment. You can make it in a bucket.
Basically,
That's right,
you just
yeah.
need a big stock pot and some carboys, like some glass carboys, to store it in while it ferments, and then
Glass
you bottle
who?
it. Carboys. So they're like giant glass jugs with like a little
Oh, yeah.
neck up top, and that's what you kind of age yours. So you can
Learn
do
all
like
kinds
5-6
of lingo here
gallons.
today.
I know,
Thanks
right?
for having me to learn all this lingo.
I didn't have a carboy. I just mixed it in my bathtub. I haven't showered in months.
It's just almost reminds me of the recipe of kombucha. You know, like very similar to that.
Yeah.
But they have this thing called a SCOBY that goes inside, and it's a bacteria that continues to grow. Have you made kombucha?
Oh
Your
no,
own
but
kombucha?
we've had bucha people on the show, so I've heard about the fermented tea.
Everybody's
action.
making their own stuff now.
That's right.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that the economics of homemade stuff start to tilt more in the favor of the people making them, because right now it's still, I think, more cost effective to buy mass-produced anything.
Yeah.
But my hope with this movement is that more makers will actually be able to, like, that there will be more demand for homemade goods, whether that's booze, whether that's clothing or art or music, especially.
Yeah. But then
So are you making your own clothes? Are you crocheting your own clothes?
I don't do
did see you
garments
crochet.
as much, but I have been crocheting for about 10 years. That was something I picked up in Texas. I have gone 3D with it. I have even recently dabbled in trying to crochet certain math equations, because that's a thing. Yeah.
Have you crocheted any bathing suits or anything?
I've not actually done it. I've looked at it. But crochet is an interesting thing because it's not practical for every type of item out there. So I recently branched off more into embroidery. But any kind of fiber arts are really interesting to me. I think it's cool that you can turn a piece of string into a piece of clothing or a blanket or a three-dimensional object, you know, to hold things. It's one of those like post-apocalyptic skill sets.
nice. Yeah. I like the idea of what did you call it? Fiber arts. That's nice.
Yeah.
So here's my deal. I'm going to make a new record soon, and I need artwork for it, right?
Okay.
So I've been thinking about what mediums aren't usually used. There's this great Dr. Dog record, and it looks like some element of fiber arts, if you will. There's something sewn into this picture that you're looking at, which is clearly ink on paper, but it's a picture of something sewn.
Okay.
And I like this idea of using something else besides Photoshop or even just a good camera to capture what we all know to be like album artwork. You know, we've seen millions of album covers, right? But rarely do we see anything that isn't a photograph, a drawing, or Photoshop, you know, or some sort of graphic design. I like the idea that you could use some other medium. Nobody take this idea. I'm not talking, never mind. Let's forget about this. Everybody forget, never mind. Let's move on.
We'll talk
I got a
afterwards.
record
What'd you
coming
guys
out
eat?
too.
Yeah, no, what'd you guys eat for dinner? Nothing. Let's talk about something else.
Do you need
Alex,
some album work?
When is your record coming out?
I wish I didn't say that because now.
Oh, now you're
the
on the
pressure
spot.
to do it.
Now you're on the spot.
Now I gotta
We're all
do
buying it.
It's maybe about 2 months from now it'll be ready.
Good. We'll hold you accountable for that.
Is this your first original music record, would you say?
Yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah, it is.
Do you have a name for it?
No, not yet. We're still working on that.
Maybe we'll find it today.
Thinking about calling it 721, which is the address of the house that I lived in when I wrote the songs.
What's the name of the street?
6th Street. It's off of
6th
Chapatoulas,
Street.
between Chapatoulas and Magazine.
Chapatoulas and Magazine.
6th Street.
6th Street. Okay. Just thinking. Just brainstorming here.
Are you recording in a studio or at home?
A little hybrid of both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which studio did you use?
It's all home studios.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's a good way to do it. Do it yourself these days, y'all. Spotify,
Yeah.
Pandora, they're all
For now.
taking
Yeah.
money, so you might as well.
How do you deal with all the background noise? Because I know a few
good
other people around town that do recording stuff, and they have an issue with soundproofing.
Yeah, sometimes I embrace it. I like it.
Oh.
It kind of adds that ambience and fills up the space, you know. Sometimes I don't like that really dry, you know, polished up, empty sound. But sometimes I do, so it depends on the song, I think.
I think that's right. I think the general human listener isn't turned off by that sort of thing. You know, whatever that word, authenticity or whatever that is. If it really is coming from a a good place and it's a good performance and it's a good song, subjectively speaking to the listener, they don't care whether or not there's some urban static in there, you know.
Well, right now we've got lots of urban static behind us.
That's right.
Are you going to do another song, or is he going to?
Yeah.
Got
Do you
another
get to do
one
another
for us?
That's the
song?
only song I know.
Oh, well, there it was. It was excellent.
The shows
It's going
are
to be a
tough.
good album.
Yeah. You ready to play?
I could. That's the only lyrical tune I have ready.
Right on.
Okay.
That's mine, but
How
I
about
could
an
sing
instrumental?
someone else's
Oh,
song.
yeah.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
sounds great.
Yeah, this is an old song from John Lee Hooker
Oh, sick.
that the Allman Brothers redid.
All right.
Now I redid. It's called Dimples.
I see you every day. Oh, I see you every day. I see you every day. You're my babe. I got my eyes on you. I love the way you walk. I love the way you walk. I love the way you talk. You're my babe. I got my eyes on you. I love the way you switch. Yeah, I love the way you switch. I love the way you switch. You're my babe. I got my eyes on you. You got dimples on your jaw. You got dimples on your jaw. You got dimples on your jaw. You're my babe. I got my eyes on you.
All right, thank you.
Killer. So what I imagine if you're playing these Frenchmen Street gigs, a lot of them can be long-winded, and there's a lot of time to fill up. So where do you lean when it comes to the cover elements? Do you have certain artists that you gravitate toward?
The Frenchman scene, I'm pretty much playing other people's tunes.
Oh, I see. Just guitars for other people. I see.
Yeah, but it's cool compared to what I'm used to in South Florida, where you play a lot of songs short, just the way they were recorded, the way that everyone wants to hear them. Here, the bands know how to stretch songs out and really throw dynamics in there, and especially when people are taking solos, they really highlight the player, which I'm sure you know of, and they start off really slow and build it up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, yeah.
So this upcoming album, this will be kind of your first foray into kind of going it alone or trying your own project. Obviously, it's your first recording, but you're not playing live so much with that project. Is that right?
Yeah, we do about once a month.
Once a month,
Yeah, I'm
cool.
not trying to oversaturate
Yeah,
too much,
that's
and
the
have
way.
people, they're always there. But our next gig is going to be at Bank Street Bar, October 7th, Saturday.
Killer.
And
Main
then you're
Street.
doing a tour, aren't you? Are you doing your first tour through Florida?
We already finished. That was with Sam Price and the True Believers. We did a 6-stop tour from Pensacola down to the Keys and then back up.
Nice. Where'd you play in the Keys?
Green Parrot.
Oh yeah, that's the spot.
Did you play there too?
Yeah, when we saw the hurricane coming, that was, we're just rooting for John and the Green Parrot and just hoping that it would be okay.
How did they make out? Did you go look?
Yeah,
and see?
no, I hadn't emailed him to check in. I'm sure he's got a lot of things going on, but I checked their Facebook pretty religiously to see, But Facebook had nothing but positive things, They said they were waiting for power to get back on, but, it was all in the up and up. We're all good. Everybody who stayed is good, and we're looking forward to getting back to business next week, I think was the word last week. So, I'm pumped for them, and I'm selfishly pumped because we have a gig there in December that I'm glad to see that will likely stay on. But you know, the Keys, Key West specifically, it's kind of like Duval Street is their Bourbon Street, you know, their main tourist trap addiction, or you know, and that's what brings money to the place. But there's so many other off the beaten path elements, and the Green Parrot is truly the only place that is celebrating original music, and without the Green Parrot, there would only be cover bands going to Key West. So, yeah.
Who's your band? Who do you play with?
My name's Andrew Duhon, and I just go under my name, songwriter, you know, sort of thing. Yeah.
You guys playing anywhere local?
Yeah, we'll be at DBA tomorrow night, Thursday. Can't remember the date. It's a podcast. Who cares? It's probably already passed. But yeah,
The
tomorrow.
21st.
That's right. 21st.
What time?
10 o'clock. Come on out.
I'm with Revival till 10. at
All right,
Cafe
dude.
Grill,
Yeah, come
so
on.
don't-
you're right
I'll put
down
you on
the
the
street.
list. Come on by, dude.
So,
I'll be
and
there.
Andrew, you're not going to play anything for us? I mean, you could borrow his guitar. It's sitting right there.
Well, that's presumptuous. Can I borrow
You
the
said
guitar?
you're left-handed.
Oh no, well that's true, but the thing is I played baseball and golf left-handed as a kid, and I hated going into the pro shop and just looking at a wall of gloves and knowing that I could use 2 of them, you know? So when it came to guitars and seeing all these beautiful guitars on the walls at music stores, I just asked some guy who worked at the music shop, dude, do I really need to play a left-handed guitar? And he's like, oh, no, man, you could just do the right-handed thing. And that's what I did.
Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, the dexterity, you know, my left hand is the one that's fretting the guitar, right? And my right hand is strumming, and I like finger picking more. But yeah, I think it gave me a little bit of a leg up to start, because the hard stuff is fretting
That's
some
the
of the bar
beginning hard
chords,
stuff,
that
yeah.
left hand stuff. And
You know, I'm left-handed also.
no kidding, yeah.
I write with my left hand, but
Right.
I play righty. My dad wouldn't let me learn lefties. Like,
Smart
someday
man.
you're not going to have a guitar.
That's
Someone's
right.
going to have a righty, and you won't be able to play with.
Case in
whoever's there.
point.
Which means you
Wow.
can play his righty guitar.
This is true, if he doesn't mind. Yeah,
I do
sure.
not mind.
Thanks.
This is actually a friend's that I'm borrowing. 'Cause
Oh,
mine,
yeah.
I restrung mine on the way here, and it broke one of the pegs, so I had to borrow this.
To whoever your friend is, thanks for letting us borrow your guitar.
Thanks, Miguel.
All right. I usually like to play something new on this show, but been on the road a little bit and don't have anything new at the moment, so I'll play something old. This is a song that I wrote the day a friend of mine's mother asked me why I didn't write more songs about Jesus. True story. She was the prettiest thing that they had ever seen. In a small town run on guide and gasoline. Well, they marveled at her green eyes and her curves. But in any other town she'd be just another beautiful girl. Well, they wore that Bible belt just a little too tight. Down a one-way street with only one street light. So to take it right, you had to go the wrong way first. Lord, in any other town, she'd be just another beautiful girl. She got a car with a boy, got a car with a cigarette. Yeah, Jesus might forgive you, but the preacher's never gonna forget. Yeah, well, she was everybody's gossip. Everybody prayed for her. Lord, in any other town, she'd be just another beautiful girl. Well, she grew up fast, and she hiked up her Sunday gown. And the high school boys learned fast that they should hang around. 'Cause in the small town nights, the only thing going down was her. Lord, in any other town, she'd be just another beautiful girl. If they were looking through their Bible, she was looking through a magazine. liked them black and white, and she loved them in between. But those looks she got were more than she deserved. Lord, in any other town, she'd be just another beautiful girl. She got a car with a boy, got a car with a cigarette. Yeah, Jesus might forgive you, but the preacher's never gonna forget. Yeah, well, she was everybody's gossip. Everybody prayed for her. Lord, in any other town, she'd be just another beautiful girl. She took the hand of a black boy and they ran away. The day she found out she was 3 weeks late. Well, she knew that town would never love her baby girl. But in any other town, she'd be just another beautiful girl. She got a car with a boy, got a car with a cigarette. Yeah, Jesus might forgive him, but the preacher's never gonna forget. Yeah, well, she was everybody's gossip. Everybody prayed for her. Lord, in any other town, she'd be just another beautiful girl. That girl was born, prettiest thing her mother'd ever seen. In a busy hospital, on a busy street. Should have seen her hazel eyes, brown skin and curls. Oh, but to everybody else, she was just another beautiful girl. Nice. Thank you.
That was really nice.
Thanks, everybody.
That was wonderful. Will you be playing that song tomorrow night?
I will, yeah. Yeah, that's one of my favorites, actually. I play that at most shows, yeah. Yeah. Unlike most of my other songs. No, I'm
Now, do you always
now.
do it just solo guitar? Do you ever do
No,
it?
no, I got a trio. It's a upright bass and a small cocktail drum kit.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
So, yeah, kind of the standard three-piece band. Yeah.
There's not too many of those around here. Really.
You think?
Doesn't seem like. Well, maybe like jazz. But
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, you mean like generally three-piece?
yeah, I love three-piece bands. though.
Dig. Yeah. Well, yeah. I got some friends for sure, but I guess they get out of town a little bit and they play. Like you said, you don't want to overexhaust the market. But there's, maybe you're right. Come to think, I mean, I have songwriter friends who do the three-piece, but not all the time. They might be like four-piece or five-piece quite a bit. I'm still looking for the right key player to make it a four-piece. But then again, stay small, keep it all. You know what I mean?
I have kind of a question about like being a musician in New Orleans. Do you find that it's extra tough for you not playing stereotypical New Orleans music, or do you find that there's a demand for some diversity there?
Good question.
It's a little bit of both. Sometimes you just got to learn what they want you to learn. And there's a lot of New Orleans-based music that I'm playing that I had to learn since moving here. And I love learning new stuff, and it's already rubbing off in my playing. So
I think Frenchmen Street has been the epicenter of New Orleans creativity for a long time, and maybe I'm being generous today because since Katrina, there is certainly this fervor of the tourists to find the most authentic thing, and that led them to Frenchmen Street. But I think it's led Frenchmen Street to become more touristy, is the best way I can put it. So I'll give you DBA as an example. I know that tomorrow night we'll sell a good amount of tickets because there will be people who have never heard of us who are just going to show up and see the show. But when I play a slower tune that I appreciate the lyrics of and I'm trying to tell a story, there might well be some folks who are interested in dancing, and I might disappoint them, with like the fact that I'm telling a story instead of like really laying down the groove.
Right.
So, yeah, maybe there's a challenge there in not fitting the postcard mold, but there's also a nice element of being from this place that seems to, by osmosis at least, give to its creatives. People who create here inevitably gain something from this place. They're not just painters or artists in this city. The city inspires them for sure. And so in that way, when you head out of town, and go across the pond or something, and you put a flyer in a pub that says New Orleans songwriter, people are intrigued by that, so you can certainly reap the rewards of being from this place in that way, so.
Do you think people still have the same effect on attorneys?
People what now?
They have the same questions for attorneys, if like they have that pot.
Oh, jeez.
You mean, do you not work on DUI cases in New Orleans? Is that weird? Is that the idea?
No, that's big business here in New Orleans.
bet.
But I don't do any of that. Though I train lawyers who do that. I imagine. Yeah, I mean, I was just sitting here reflecting about how Frenchmen Street is the center of creative New Orleans. I don't ever go to Frenchmen Street because I'm a 53-year-old law professor. So it probably is a place that I need to go see.
You should, but I will say that it is and always has been, I'm sure. It's changing, and I don't know that it's still. There's so many interesting things happening in the Marigny and the Bywater and even the Ninth Ward further on. There's a lot of the finger of the pulse. I think if you listen to WWOZ and some of the events that someone pops in to promote on there's a lot of interesting things going on, and I don't know that Frenchmen Street is quite the yield of what it used to be. I think there's a lot of people capitalizing on the tourist dollar down there a little bit more than epicenter of creativity, so to speak.
Well, with both of you guys there, it must be a good place.
Right on. Thanks for
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
There is definitely always something going on in New Orleans and down on Frenchmen Street, so you could get out of the house, you can go see some comedy or play archery, and get down to DBA this week and go hear Alex and hear Andrew as well, so we can all get out of the house and do that. Let's give a shout out to our sponsors today. Brought to us today by Basic Swim and Gym, a full range of fashion swimsuits, workout, and yoga clothes with style. Bikinis, one-piece cover-ups, everything you need for beach and poolside is at Basic Swim and Gym, right next to the lingerie store. Basics underneath on Magazine Street near Jefferson Avenue. By Hangover Destroyer, the only all-natural product medically proven to prevent a hangover. Go to the Hangover Destroyer website, hdestroyer.com. Write happy hour in the coupon code and get 30% off Hangover Destroyer and Seize the Dawn. Credits go to producer Graham DuPont, associate producers Allison Moon, and myself filling in for Grant Morris today, music director Christian Unruh, music producer Jean Valois, technical director Thomas Walsh. Today's show engineered by Joe Schreiner. Live feed directors Asher Griffith and Andrew. Theme music was written by and is played by Mitch Foreman. If you'd like to be on the show, drop us a line. Our address is in our website. Check out our other happy hours and other shows. Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti, live at Commander's Palace, and Louisiana Eats with Poppy Tooker. You can also find other great Louisiana podcasts at itsacadiana.com and itsbatonrouge.la. Keep up with us on Facebook, Twitter, and a bunch of other time-sucking social media on all of the It's New Orleans. You can find photos from this show on itsneworleans.com and our Facebook page. These photos are taken today by Allison Moon. If you're listening to this on your podcast app, thanks for subscribing. Take a moment to rate it and review us. That helps other people find out. Recorded live today at Wayfair on Frenchmen Street in Uptown New Orleans, Happy Hour is a production of INO Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com. For Andrew Duhon, everyone around the table here at Wayfair and back at our office in INO Broadcasting, thanks for joining us. I'm April Stolf. I'll see you back here next week for more Happy Hour.
Celebrate Venus Fashion Week and discover the new fall fashion collection while saving at Venus. This weekend only, spend $100 and get an additional $15 off. Spend $150 and get $30 off. Just go to Venus.com and use the promo code SWEATER to save today.